So I reiterate here, the bill is dead.
The story of this great city is about the years before this night.
Hey everyone, this is Ho Ho Hong Kong with me, Vivek Mahbubani, and my co-host who is...
Muhammad Magdi.
Cannot sing. Just I had the whole rhythm to it. You're like,
yeah,
Muhammad Magdi. I'm like, I don't know, were you rapping? Now Scatman.
God damn it. All right. I wasn't in sync.
That's okay. It's okay. It was not pre-planned because
No.
we were busy eating bakehouse baguette.
Yeah. Unsupported.
Unsponsored.
Unsponsored.
Unsponsored, purely voluntary, throwing names
Yeah.
out there again,
We're just
hoping.
eating bakehouse.
Yeah. So this is again, I want to remind everybody that
This was baguette, by the way.
This
not
is baguette,
even
not even the cookie.
cookies.
Yeah, I went, and honestly, like, I really do like baguette. It's just like, it's like white bread. I'm like, you know what? I can do the sourdough. It's better for me, and all
Yeah.
that stuff. And then my mom went and got it, and she comes back, oh, it's still warm. I'm like, crap. We're going to eat this now, man.
You do know that's like every French person's diet. Like literally, they
Yeah,
just
the
walk
baguette.
around, they just eat it with the hand.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you just like cut it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was
so
like,
good.
exactly, right? And I'm like, when it's done right, it's done right. When it's done
Yeah.
bad, like from the supermarket, you're like, what is this crap?
Yeah, I had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I bought one from like, what is the French look? The French name?
Eric Kaiser?
Eric Kaiser.
Yeah,
That's the one.
that guy, yeah.
That was no bueno.
Yeah. It's just you feel the factory flavor. You know,
Yeah,
you're like,
it's
this clearly,
Exactly.
something's not right.
Yeah, because they don't make it in house, right?
I'm guessing
like,
not.
I guess like
yeah.
because they have to.
I don't see Eric over there doing nothing, you know. So
Yeah, we see our buddy Liam not making it either because
Yeah.
he's not a baker. But
He's not
there's
a
that
baker.
French guy, whoever the owner
yeah,
is.
the main guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forget, but you know, all props to him.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all right. It's all good as long as I'm not eating Vision Bakery. I'm a happy man.
Yeah, there is serious beef there.
Oh, that
and
is-
we're hoping at some point
Yeah.
this whole thing will get to them.
Yeah, so I'm more than happy to invite Vision or whatever it was a typo. I have no idea why you do the double S or whatever.
Yeah.
It is
What is it even? Like, I don't even know what it means.
Okay, I'm gonna predict.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So
while you predict, I will actually look it up.
yeah, so basically, I think it's Vission. I believe it's like double S, right?
Yeah.
Like it's so negative in my brain that it doesn't even want to remember the spelling.
Yeah.
It's like just don't even have this word in your brain at all. So I'm thinking, first of all, is that clearly this was one of those things that like, hey, something's going on in Soho where everyone's buying this stuff. Let's open up a little mini bakery just next door. So it is Vission. All right.
Right.
And then probably someone
Actually,
was...
when I looked it up, it
Yeah.
automatically changed to vision meaning.
Yeah.
So vision is not a word.
It's not a word, and secondly, even Google's like, you don't want to be searching that shit. Yeah, clearly, I'm gonna recommend you another word.
Yeah. Google literally, there's nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing.
That's-
Yeah,
But you found like the actual place, and
yeah,
it
yeah.
is
yeah,
written like that.
Yeah, Vission. So what I
That's so
think it is,
weird.
what I think has happened over here is that someone put the word like vision, like Vision, right? And then they took a bite of their own food, and they're like, "This is not any visionary happening here, man." Oh
Yeah.
my god! Like when you put something in your mouth and it like tastes terrible,
Yeah.
and you have to close your eyes. He's like, "Wait a second!
Yeah.
If every bite makes me lose my vision, how dare we call ourselves Vision Bakery?"
Right.
But by that time it was too late because like all their team was like vision, and like
Yeah.
shit, I gotta fix this, man. I cannot get by this. And he was like, what if you say visions? He's like, that doesn't work. That's even worse because that means you have more vision.
Right.
You can't do that. He's like, crap, we're in trouble now. So what must have happened is they had these letters. They probably bought the copyright for like 2 S's at a go, right? And they're like, shit, we gotta
Maybe
put
it was originally visions. And then
Yeah.
they had to like use the S because
trademark problems
Yeah.
or like someone was like, dude, that's not original.
Yeah.
Or someone maybe saw a feng shui master like, oh, you don't end with the S, you're gonna drive the business out as vast, something like that. And then they were like, let's put it somewhere. And then someone was like, buddy, check this out, right? So a lot of people nowadays with the apps and everything, there's like these weird words. And as long as it's like got this catchy thing to it, people love it.
Yeah.
They're like, I see. So there's 2 I's, 2 S's, one's a V, one's an N, and
Yeah.
guess what? We're gonna throw in there an O for the quality level that we're at.
Yeah, and make
which
a
is
word
like-
that definitely does not make any sense.
Exactly.
And you have officially beat the worst story of a naming of a brand in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
After Clock and Flap.
Exactly. Yeah.
officially made
Yeah,
it
exactly.
happen.
Clock and Flap was another like clearly a
Just
moment
dumb
someone
fucking story.
Exactly, yeah.
And then they're sticking with it. They're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. It was like this word. Like, all right, just
Hey, you know
stop.
what? Clock and Flap it rolls off the tongue much better nowadays.
It does.
Because there's no way to mispronounce it.
Yeah.
with whatever they're called.
Vision, yeah.
You don't know, is it Vision? Is it Vision? Is it, you know?
Like, yeah, I encourage everyone to look it up. Where
Yeah.
I've done it, you have done it. There is literally, Google just does not acknowledge it as a word at all.
Yeah.
It just goes to vision. And I
Yeah.
tried again. I'm like, no, vision. I put it between brackets and then nothing happened.
Exactly. Like,
Like
I don't
quotation
know.
marks and
Yeah.
Google's like, Timbudong.
So this is one of those things that clearly someone read a book on, like how to be the next Facebook or whatever, right?
Right,
They're like,
yeah.
all right, tip number 1.
Come up with a dumb name.
come with your own word, right?
Yeah.
So these guys probably what they did is they were like, all right, so Google's done a double O,
Yeah.
Apple's got a double P, we're gonna do double S here, man. Oh, we're on to something, right?
Yeah.
But they forgot that actually those guys churn out actual products. I mean, you're
Yeah,
just churning out fucking like stuff.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, you're churning out bad cookies.
Yeah,
That's not
exactly.
really-
Yeah, exactly. You're-
Across the street from one of the best bakeries ever.
Exactly. Like, what do you like? Why wouldn't you just go down there and scout them? Like, just go be
you
like,
can
"Oh."
just buy it and then take it to Vision and be
Yes.
like, how do we copy this?
You can upsell, like you can literally go next door, get their cookies, sell it out.
Yeah.
And they're baking, they're losing time that people need that cookie now. They're like for $21.
Oh, yeah,
$21, buddy.
Yeah.
You make a $1 profit, bam,
Yeah.
done and done.
That is smart, actually.
Right. Secondly, also nowadays with Bakehouse, I think they've got maybe too much demand, or they're playing like the supply demand thing. Where I've been there a few times now. The egg tarts, their tarts are running out.
Oh,
Where
shit.
people line up and they're like, oh,
Ooh.
come, it's like let's say 3:30 and like come back at 5. Well, I'm like, oh
Damn.
snap.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Bakehouse, if
So
you
they have to like maybe sending people to other branches.
Oh no! They come and they pay ahead, put their name down the list at 5 o'clock. No
Really?
lining up. They get the 6
Right.
egg tarts at a go.
Yeah, okay.
And I was like, oh snap! Look at you,
Yeah.
Vision. You see how that works? Because their shit is actually good. Okay. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone actually gets fooled enough to go to Vision, like buy something ahead of time and come
Right.
back to buy it, pick them up later. But I think whoever that is, maybe between the time they buy it and the time they pick it up, they'll come to their senses and be like, man, what am
Yeah.
I doing? Fine, I donated it. It helps the Hong Kong GDP. Let's not go back there.
Right.
We got better things to do with our lives. All right.
Yeah, you got that out of your system.
Yeah, exactly. That baguette really got my blood
Yeah,
sugar
yeah.
like fired up. I'm like, I'm gonna say some shit about these guys now.
Yeah.
Like, they did nothing wrong today. They just existed as they normally do.
Yeah.
Right. They didn't run themselves out of business yet.
Right.
And then
they will soon, I'm sure.
hey, you know what? If they don't, good for
Actually,
them.
I pass by sometimes and it's relatively busy, and it's usually the people who go to Pure next door and
Yeah.
they want like that sugar.
Yeah,
I
sugar
guess,
rush.
fix
Okay,
after.
maybe. Yeah. They deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
they must have done something on like social media or whatever to still
Oh,
like.
for sure.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're banking on the mistake bakery, where people say, oh, in that
Oh,
area,
yeah.
there's that
Oh,
really
that's
good
really
one,
smart,
right?
actually, yeah.
And they're like, what we're going to do, right? Because these guys, no one's going to like Bakehouse. They're not going to remember the name. They're like, oh, bakery, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, guess what? They're on the escalator. They see us first. They're like, that's probably it.
Yeah.
They go in there, buy that item, eat it. They're like, player, this is absolute shit. What the hell? And they're like, this is ridiculous. Let's just go somewhere else. Let's go to the peak. Let's just clear our heads, go somewhere else. They
Yeah.
take the next escalator. They're like, oh, shit, it's here.
It's right here.
This is the one.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
crap, right?
You can actually see it from Vision.
Yeah. And what happens is, out of anger, they go and double down on Bakehouse.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck these guys.
Yeah.
I'm not only going to
For
have
not showing
one.
up in my way.
Exactly. I'm going to have not just one cookie. I'm going to buy an extra cookie, eat that till the point, like when you eat something great and you get to a point where it's like, you've eaten so much, you're like, I'm not really enjoying this anymore.
Yeah.
The diminishing returns.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm going to eat Bakehouse until I get that point. Until like the cookie's no longer like, oh, it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And still it's better than your fucking shit that I just ate. Do you understand?
I really hope if you guys are listening, send this to Vision people.
Yeah.
Someone must know.
I
or
wanna-
at least go to their Instagram and just send them these episodes.
Yeah.
There is like another 3 episodes
Yeah.
when we're basically trashing them for 10 minutes.
It is not easy to get me fired up like this about anything in life.
Okay, here's a message. Vision, the biggest comic in Hong Kong, has
Yeah.
been talking shit for like few months now.
Exactly. Like do something. But yeah,
exactly.
help
He's also
yourself.
your neighbor.
Yeah.
Speaking of neighbor, you're also, aside from being a massive hater of
Yeah.
Vision, you are now officially the owner of how many estates in Hong
So
Kong?
officially on paper, I'm still one because you
Yeah.
know the double duty, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But my family technically now has 2 flats.
Right.
All right. We are the owner of 2 flats. But
In the same building.
In the same building. So
Yeah.
that was the whole trick where we were like, all right, you know what? I got to move out. I got to space all that stuff. And then I was like, all right. I can't be too far away. Parents got to take care of them, all that stuff. And I was like, what's the best of both worlds? Or the lesser of two evils, whichever one to see, right? And I was searching online in my building. And I was like, wait, there are a couple of flats on sale. And I was like, ooh, the budget's pretty high or whatever. I'm like, but you know what? For sanity reasons, I need to have my own space and everything. So I looked into it. And this is the beginning of flat searching in Hong Kong.
Yeah. So actually, we'll do a couple of steps back.
Yeah.
Because explain to someone who is never going to buy an apartment in Hong Kong, which is me.
Yeah.
And most of our listeners definitely not going to buy apartments in Hong Kong, including the locals.
Could be, yeah.
Because no one can fucking afford it.
Yeah.
Explain to us what the process is from the very beginning.
All right.
Yeah.
So first things first, everybody, what you usually do is that you just go online, randomly search like square foot dot whatever, all these websites, just random stuff. And you hope to find the same flat listed at a cheaper price.
Right.
Because sometimes they update it, sometimes they don't. Now the trick is this, some of them might be the new price and you have no idea. Because they don't all say when it was last updated. So you only can hope that whatever pricing that is listed there is the lowest price. You're like, maybe that's the current price.
And you're looking at usually just a net, not including
the sale
taxes.
price. That's the price of the flat. You haven't included
so
like the stamp
goes
duty.
to the landlord or
yeah, exactly.
Right,
yeah.
okay.
So that is big, and that's the biggest mistake you can make. Where you're like, I can make that work. You're like, buddy, there's a lot more to it.
Yes.
Right?
Okay. So
Stamp
you're looking
duty.
at obviously a price.
Yes.
That you're like, that's within my budget. That's kind of the apartment that I like.
Correct. Yeah.
And then you find something that you like.
So let's say you see something like, let's say, I don't know, like the medium, like 5 million. Let's just say, right? You're like, okay, $5 million. You're thinking, like, can I do the mortgage and everything? So now you got this whole thing. Do you go through the agent or do you slip the letter into the letterbox kind of a thing?
Oh,
right?
so the letter into the letterbox is common?
It's not common, but sometimes people, the ones who are more like, business minded, like, is there a way to get around this? Because you must understand the agent, as much as they do a good job and everything, they will charge you around 1%.
Sure.
Now you may say 1%, no big deal. Like, buddy, do the math.
Yeah,
okay?
1% on a $5 million even.
That's $50K right there.
$50,000.
$50,000. Now, again, there's a psychology of money where when you're like spending $5 million, $50K doesn't feel very painful.
Yeah.
Do remember, $50K, how many fucking cookies I could get out of that, okay? So hence what I'm saying, I'm like, buddy, you got to think like, think
how
small.
how many Patreon subscribers?
Right there.
Subscriptions,
I think we're like set for life, man. A lifetime subscriber right there.
That's if you are ever buying an apartment and you do manage to save that 1%, maybe consider subscribing to Patreon.
Yeah, exactly.
Not even for a year, just for a month.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
You're like, I could afford that shit. I'll do the whole tycoon.
Patreon.com/HoHoPod.
Exactly,
anyway.
yeah. So that's the first thing, okay? Now, you have that two ways. Now, generally, it's not that easy to just be like, oh, I know where that apartment is. Like, you do. I did everything. I looked at the flats. I was like trying to zoom into the windows and be like, okay, what floor is that? Like, look, what are the window frames? So this is the trick.
Would you just slip a letter into every apartment? Like,
I've never done that before. I've heard people who will do that. They're like, whatever.
Because there is no.
Yeah, I have
not
no
losing
idea.
anything.
Yeah.
Like, interested in buying, please call me and a phone number. That's
Exactly,
it.
yeah. So there are many methods you can use. First of all, let's say you go to the website and you see the photos, right? What you do is you look at the window frames. So let's say the window frame is white and like they're divided in the middle, let's just say. You go to that building on the street side and look up the whole building side and find a floor with those windows.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm guessing it's that.
Yeah.
So you know it's one of those floors as you slip your letter into those letter boxes.
Amazing.
Right? You got that one,
Yeah.
right? That's the first one. Second of all, the other method is you go ask the building security guard. Most of them, they're like, oh, yeah, this guy's trying to sell, because very often the owner might go down security guard just in case somebody asks, give them my number, right?
Yeah.
Because again, the buyer and the seller all pay the agent 1% each.
Yes. So
all
everyone
right?
is trying to avoid the agent.
If they can.
Yeah.
Obviously, some people prefer having the agent because the agent takes care of stuff. It's more security of the mind, like, oh, they'll sort everything out.
Yeah.
But the truth is, here's the thing. If you do your research online, a lot of the work that the agent does can be done directly by a lawyer.
Yeah.
In other words, you don't need the agent. That's just the
But are you going to need a lawyer anyway?
Yes, you will need a lawyer
will?
anyway. Yes. Okay. So let's just say agent or no agent, you see the flat, go take a look at it. Now this is where the whole the acting comes in. You got to go there but not look impressed. Right. The whole like going like, okay, all right, yeah. So it has sunlight, sure, whatever. Like, oh great, there's no building blocking me, whatever. Right.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, the rooms are perfectly cut, and the whole thing, and then you like hold it in your heart.
So it's
like,
basically a first date strategy.
Yeah, full on, man.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
go in there, you're like excited. You see in the photos like that is the place I want to live in.
Yeah.
That's why you contacted the agent.
That's
whatever.
what I want to be in tonight. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's happening. I need to do. Yeah, that's what I want to be in tonight. Exactly. Or eventually. That's the goal. I'll work at it, right? I gotta get myself inside there somehow. All right. Now, of course, this is applying to just guys, right?
Right.
Yeah. All right. So you do that. You do the side viewing. And
Yeah.
then you kind of like, okay, have a think about it, right? And usually the agent, now this is what I love about property agents. They have to have a certain enthusiasm about even the shittiest of apartments.
Yeah.
Right? And I appreciate that because like they're like, okay, so, this place is really nice. You got windows on this side and on this side. So, you got the north side and the east side. And, guess what? There's a west side as well, not the south side because, who wants all that stuff. And they're like making everything seem logical.
Right.
Like, let's say there's like a angle, like have these apartments, you have the slanted walls, right? And they're like, oh, this is really good because that way you have a triangle shape, so you don't feel like
they're just improvising. They're just yes ending every problem you
it's
throw.
It's full
at
on
them.
yes and
It's so funny,
right? Like I used to have a joke like previously when I did a little bit about like salespeople, and I was like, oh, this guy came into this apartment, and I'm like, I'm looking for a flat. He's like, oh, this apartment has 2 rooms, and I'm like, I live alone. He's like, oh, it's very good because sometimes you get bored of one room, you go to the other room, right? I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I'm like, yeah, but this room has no window. Yeah, you know what? That way you can play hide and seek with yourself. I'm like, what? Right?
Yeah.
All that dumb stuff.
Yeah.
You finish seeing the viewing, and then you tell them, okay, thank you very much, right? And then you go about your day. Now you have to go back and think, do I want to give them an offer and everything? Now here's what I was taught. The smart people would do their homework and check out what the bank valuation is. In other words, you can go to the banking websites and they give you a certain valuation of what they think this property is worth.
How does that work?
So you go online, go to like, I don't know, HSBC, Bank of China, all that stuff, and they have a bank property valuation thing, all right? You go there.
You put in the address?
Yes, you put in the address. So now you know what floor it is as well.
Right.
You put in the address. Now, remember, when you've seen the flat with the agent, they normally make you sign with your ID card. So they know that you have viewed it with them.
Yeah.
You cannot buy this property without going through them.
Ah, right.
You know my point? So
Okay.
they have you on ID and everything, which is fair.
Yeah.
Just for their own
because they have
safety.
done a job already.
Yeah, otherwise you go behind their backs, it's not really right.
Sure.
I'm like, totally respect that, understand that. You go online and check out the bank valuation, what the banks think the property is worth. Now, let's be very honest, the banks are lying because clearly in their minds, this property is worth nothing.
Yeah.
Right? But they don't put nothing because they're like, you can't let them know the truth, right?
Sure.
So let's say the property online is, let's say, 5 million, but the bank says 4.5 million.
Okay.
So that's the bank valuation. Now, depending on how much of a negotiator you are, you can now decide to give either the bank valuation offer or you go lower than that.
Yeah.
That's a gangster move right there. Like in your heart, like, oh man, I like that place. It's pretty good. But you can be like, baller, but like, you know what? You said 5 million, I give you 4 million. Right? Bank valuation 4.5. You're like, fuck it, I'm gonna do that.
So they are also aware of the bank valuation.
They must know. They must have done their homework, right?
So anyone can go and find any bank valuation to any
Yes,
property.
pretty much
as long
every
as you have the
property. Yeah,
address.
if you don't have it on the bank website, then maybe your property, I'd be like, God,
You might be like illegal structure or something.
Yeah, exactly. So you have that. Now, this is the thing. Generally, the seller would check the bank valuation to get an idea.
Yeah.
And
can you fuck with the bank? Like, if you are the owner, can you be like, come on, man, like you can't do me like that?
I have no idea. I think the bank hires.
Did you look up your own place here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So based on this current flat that we're on, the price is higher than when I bought it at now. Obviously, after all these years, it's better.
Yeah.
But obviously, with the property market falling now in Hong Kong, it's gone back down. Like whatever, I'm not selling.
But
anyway.
you can't like fuck. Like you can't be like the bank. Tell the bank like, you can't.
I
do
doubt
that,
it because from what I understand, they hire an official surveyor to come and look at their houses, and that surveyor is this surveyor is the man or the woman or whatever. Like they could just be like, 5 million. You know what I mean? It's one of it's like you're in the Middle East.
Yeah.
You're like, this for you?
Yeah.
6 million.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? One of those-
my friend, I give you a good price.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what is going on? How did you just suddenly come up with this number out of nowhere, right? And they'll like do all these weird. I have no idea what they're surveying because they never entered the apartment.
Yeah, of course.
But they're on the side.
You think
Like,
they just creep on you from like other buildings?
I have no idea. Like, God forbid they're looking at a floor plan, go like, this one, and they do that.
They might actually value it based on like how good looking the people who live in the
Maybe,
apartment are.
and clearly, but that's why my price has just gone down. They're like, oh, this guy lives here? God damn, dude, it's going right down there, man.
Yeah.
So, okay. So then
So now you wanna
get the
decide
offer.
whether you wanna go bank valuation lower
or even higher if you really want
higher
it.
is like silly, right?
Technically, if they ask, as they're asking for 5 million, and you're like, I really, really, really want it.
Yeah.
You just
and I guess
bam.
but that's the end of it.
That's the
right?
end of it. Yeah. And there are some people who.
But then once they know that you are willing to pay 5 million,
They won't
they're
go down.
never gonna.
Oh, yeah.
They will never go down.
Yeah,
right?
so obviously you're gonna start a bit lower,
Yeah.
and that's why they would put it a bit higher to
Sure.
feel it out. Fair
Yeah.
enough. It's a game. It's a
Yeah.
dance. We get it, right? And so depending on how aggressive you are. Now I have a few friends who are just they look at it as an investment.
Sure.
They're gonna live in there, but they're like, no, I'd like to know that I'm in a place where I'm gonna make some money.
Yeah.
Versus like it's the ideal home.
Yeah.
Right. So they were like, dude, you gotta go really low. Go like really low ball them, right? And then so you can go lowball, and usually the agent has like a threshold that like, shut the fuck up, get lost, you know, because they're not even gonna go back to the seller and be like, oh, these guys won't offer this. Like, how embarrassing.
Yeah.
So they normally know what the bottom line is, but they try not to go there, obviously. So you go back and forth, and they're like, I offer you 4 million, and they're like, they came back with 4.9 million or 4.2 million. You go to the center until someone doesn't budge.
Sure.
Now, you can do all the psychology where you're like, oh, has the property price been going down? Has anybody been looking at it? This kind of stuff. Is there anybody trying to compete with you? And of course, the agent can play the games with you. But like, yeah, we have like 20 people competing.
Sure.
You're like, whatever.
It's the same strategy as like booking.com. Like,
exactly.
4 people are looking at it right
like,
now. It's like,
right,
all right,
you are. Yeah, sure, buddy.
This offer will expire in 5 seconds.
Absolutely, right? Yeah, exactly. So all that stuff. So back and forth. And you give them the final offer. And basically, when the seller says, all right, fine, we're good with that, then the agent gets what they call the preliminary agreement.
Okay.
All right. So that's just basically saying you agree to this stuff. Yeah. And I think you do the preliminary, you sign. I believe you give like a 5% deposit to say I'm good for this.
So right now you're on the hook for like.
Yeah.
Like you're paying that.
Yeah, the 5%
you can't
is
take
like,
them back.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. So usually that's what they mean about the down payment, that you must have around 10% in actual cash. The rest, if you mortgage, it's possible, but you need to have at least 10% in cash, right? So here you go, you do 5%, bam, and you give them the check. The agents, okay, we're going to lock it down. Nobody else is looking at it. They've agreed to this price. So
sold.
Yeah, they can't back out of it now, technically. Otherwise, if they do, they got to pay some penalty, all that stuff, right? Okay, so you do that, and then now each party finds their own lawyer.
Okay.
All right, which is again another weird thing. You're like, I gotta find a lawyer now. Shit.
And you don't really have a lawyer.
You don't really have one. So you can ask the agent, hey, do you have a recommendation?
Of
Usually
course.
agents would have 2 because there's no way the seller and buyer would have the same lawyer. That's a conflict of interest. Luckily for me, I had a lawyer from other stuff before. I'm like, I'll just use this guy, whatever, it's all good. And then they take their time.
And are they like, what kind of lawyer are they? Just like commercial lawyer?
I'm pretty sure like most lawyers do this because it's such a standard thing.
Right.
Where they just kind of check the records to make sure the flat doesn't owe money, this and that, all that crap, right?
Right.
And I know.
Are they going through the contract too?
Oh, yeah. They'll go through the agreement, all that stuff, right? So it's the standard stuff. So it's basically this party saying, oh, if for this reason you don't buy the property, you then my lawyers will be like, no, fuck you, and all that stuff. Back and forth bullshit, right?
Sure.
And that's when you kind of sit back and be like, all right, man, you better represent, buddy. You know, I don't want to get screwed over here. Your lawyer's like, that's right, man, we got your back, right?
Yeah.
And you have this whole team of guys who are like, no problem, man, we got you, bro. All that stuff, and back and forth for a few weeks. And you sit there waiting, and you're like, okay, now that's when you, the buyer, have to get your mortgage shit together.
Right.
Now, mortgage, I learned, and this is such a joy, is the banks need you more than you need them.
Right.
In other words, you can now go to banks and shop for a mortgage. What that means, I thought, you go to the bank like, hey guys, could you, spot me a few bucks? Right?
Oh, yeah.
It turns
That's
out,
really interesting.
Yeah, it turns out you can apply to these banks and they come back to you with an offer and they beg you to take them.
Really? And
So in
that's
other words,
based on like lowest interest rate.
Interest rates, and this is what they do, right? So first of all, interest rates for mortgage, that's what they compete on. Generally, it's around the same because it's kind of standard anyway.
Sure.
Right? So
and what is the rate that we're talking about
3
now?
point something percent right now because it's
Right.
pretty high with the high interest rates, right?
Sure.
So before it might be 2%, stuff like that. But generally, they don't really have much of a difference in the mortgage percentage. So how do they win? Number one, maybe a preferred bank. I just like these guys, whatever.
Yeah,
right?
if you have been always with HSBC, you just don't want to change.
Yeah. But HSBC knows they're the biggest bank.
Sure.
So they're kind of the ones who are like, fuck you, man. You know?
Yeah.
And they'll give you some screwed up offer. And usually you're like, it doesn't matter to me, or I like them. But the truth is, with today's technology, there's no need to go with that particular bank that you've been banking with. So this is how they get you. They come back to you with the offer of the per annum interest rate.
Right.
Easy peasy. And then they give you a rebate.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is how it's fucked up, okay? They tell you we're going to lend you, let's just say 5 million, right?
Sure.
They lend you 5 million and let's say 3% And they tell you, but we'll give you a rebate of, let's say, 3% back.
Okay.
Okay?
So now you think you're just getting
But you get a rebate of 3% of the 5 million, but you're repaying 3% per year.
Yeah.
They still make their money, okay? And the deal is you cannot repay the mortgage in whole within the first 2 years. So they got to make their interest, whatever, right?
Right.
Fair
Even
enough.
if you have the money ready, you're like, here's your money back. They're
No,
like,
you
nope.
can't. Yeah, you can't. You get penalized. You pay extra penalties, which is stupid, right?
Yeah.
You give them the rebate back and everything. All right. So they come back to you with the rebate.
But then you can hold the money in the same bank. You can hold it in your saving account
it's
there.
And, okay, that's
but you
number
just
one.
can't give it
Dude,
to
you have no idea how stupid. Like when I learned this, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what do we mean rebate? They're like, yeah, we give you the money back. I'm like, why don't you just cut it from mortgage? No.
Yeah.
We must lend you the money, and then we give you money back, but you can't give it back to us. Like, what? That's mean, man.
Yeah.
Like, I have the money to pay you back. Like, no, you can't pay me back just yet. I got to take interest from you. I'm like, but I can pay you back. They're like, no, you can't.
Yeah.
We're not going to take the money back. Yeah, but don't you want money? Yeah, we do. But why don't you want it now? No, we don't want it now.
Okay, but like, let's just do a 10 million for the sake of simplicity.
Yeah.
So, but what is the interest rate on a $10 million in your saving account right now?
Oh, it'll
Because that's
probably,
from the same. If we're going all in the same bank,
Yeah. So I believe it's like maybe
it's super low, right? It's like 0.
No. Now it's a bit higher, but it's still very low.
Yeah.
It's like maybe 1%, something like that, right?
Okay,
it's still
but
low.
it's still 1%.
It's nothing compared to 3%.
Yeah, 3%.
All right, let me tell you how many things they try to get you.
Right.
First of all, they get you the mortgage and say, okay, we'll lend you this amount at this percent. Now the amount and the percent interest is pretty much standard for all banks.
Okay.
So they follow like a certain standard interest rate. Right.
Yeah.
The rebate is where you win. For example, let's say HSBC says we'll give you a rebate of 3%. Bank of China said we'll give you a rebate of 3.1%.
Right.
So you get a bigger chunk of money back. So let's say you get like $10,000 more.
So when you say you get it back,
They put
it's
it into
after you paid the interest.
Yes. No, after you borrowed the money. In other
Right.
words, you must borrow this chunk of money first, pay
And
for
then
the
you
house.
make money.
Yeah, and then a week or 2 weeks later, they will give you some money back.
Sure.
Which is fair,
Yeah.
which kind of gets you going for the mortgage repayment,
Yeah.
right? So let's say they give you $100,000 back in rebate.
Yeah.
All right. So now you got the rebate. And then they give you an account with their bank, which is like a deposit linked account. What that means is that, let's say your interest rate is 3%.
Yes.
They now let you have a savings account where you can put money in there and your interest rate is the exact same as your mortgage.
Why?
But you're only allowed to put up to 50% of how much money you owe them.
Right.
So in other words, if you owe them 10 million
Yeah.
and they're charging 3% per annum,
Sure.
you can put up to 5 million in this account and we'll pay you back 3%.
Right.
But they still kind of make half the interest back,
Yeah.
right? And I'm just like, but if I had money, I wouldn't borrow that. Exactly.
Exactly.
So we're giving you all these things,
Yeah.
but you don't have the money to enjoy that. I'm like, God damn, that's good.
Yeah, I guess the whole point is that even if you have the money, you'd
Yeah.
rather spend the bank's money.
Yeah.
Right?
But that's, of course, when interest rates are low, right?
Yes.
But now you're trying to minimize the bank borrowing so that
Yeah.
you can, because what it is that remember, when you pay for the house, after that, you got to renovate, this and that. You have
Yeah.
other fees, like the lawyer fee, the agent fee. Now,
We haven't gotten to the taxes yet.
the taxes, stamp duties, and everything, which is, again, like a few, like a 3%, 8%, something like that. It's quite high.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, not that high, but it's high enough.
I guess in comparison to the rest of the world, it's not high.
It's not high, yeah.
But like for us here, because the prices are so high,
Therefore,
then
the percent is like
8%
a big, that's like 300,000. You're like, oh my God, what? Right? You're like, I just thought it was like 5 million. No, it's like 5.7 million. Like, oh shit, right?
Yeah.
So that's the whole game. All right. You got your mortgage sorted out and then you finally agreed with them.
So when you're paying the mortgage back, are you paying in monthly?
Monthly, yeah.
Okay.
Every month they just auto deduct it just to keep it simple, right? So you pay
Right.
back per month. And
that's for like 20 years or whatever.
exactly, yeah. So the next 20 years, like, shit, I owe people money now.
How many years are you actually on the hook for now the new place?
Officially, it's 20 years.
Yeah.
But after 2 years, if you somehow fall
right.
into money, you can just like, here.
Oh yeah, please get
Yeah.
off my back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
but
I
you
asked-
are on the hook for 20 years.
Yeah. It's 20 years. I'm like,
Wow.
all right, this is it, man. I'm going to be like, hey, so, hey, I'm running free.
And
No,
that
you're not.
doesn't go away if you die, right?
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't. Yeah. So technically,
Someone has to pay the
Someone's got to
bank.
pay. Yeah. So it's like it's one of these weird things. I know if
So
you buy
if you
the
change identity and
Yeah.
just like move to like Thailand and just disappear.
property just goes back to the bank.
Oh,
Because
right.
you default, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they take the property. Of course,
Okay.
the bank wants cash. Otherwise, the 2008 financial crisis was that nobody could pay for their houses.
Right, and
the
then-
bank's like, I have houses. I don't want houses. I want my cash.
Right.
That's how they got screwed.
Yeah.
Right. So the whole thing is that now you've got the banking mortgage stuff done, and you have to, like, for example, I'm an HSBC banker.
Right.
I bank with
Did you
them.
actually get the mortgage from them?
No, I got it from Bank of China.
Right.
So
okay.
now with Bank of China, but because it was a bit better, I got.
Sure. So was it actually like you can tell me the percentages? What was it actually 3 and 3.1?
Yes.
Was that the real? Oh wow.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. That
but I guess the 0.1 makes a huge difference.
Yeah, of course, man. That's like maybe a 10K or whatever right
Yeah.
up there. Like, buddy, yes.
Yeah, fucking
And
think.
what does it matter? Like, who cares which bank it is, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter,
It doesn't
yeah.
matter. All right, okay. So now you
So
got
but then when Bank of China gives you the rebate,
Yeah.
you have to get it to your Bank of China.
Yes, it
saving
goes to that.
account,
Yeah,
right.
And Bank of China now that account has the high interest rate account, so they're trying to attract you to put whatever cash you have into Bank of China.
Smart. So
right?
they're just trying to like.
I'm like,
competing with-
yeah, exactly. $2, $5, just put it all over there.
Sure.
Prem, All right, so that's done now. But the problem is that you have to start a new bank account. You go to the bank, I start a bank. I'm
That's
like,
so
oh,
annoying.
crap,
Yeah.
I got another account to keep track of, right?
And then another card, and they're
Yeah.
like, hey, do you want a credit card? Like,
Like,
no,
no,
stop.
yeah, exactly. What about investments? Like, no, please just go away.
Yeah.
And nowadays, with all this facial recognition technology and everything, and also verification, I'm at the bank. I'm there in person. They're like, use the app to register. I'm like, you assholes.
Yeah.
I'm right here.
I'm here
But
with my ID. Please.
Yeah. They're like, no, use the app and take a photo of your ID. I'm like, oh, fine, whatever. And
It's like you have to do like the tilting.
yeah,
ID
the tilting. Yeah,
Oh my god, I
that's-
fucking hate it.
And then you got to do the facial recognition. The open your mouth.
Yeah.
Blink your eyes.
Yeah. Take your
turn
tongue
left.
out.
Yeah, get a stroke. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then
your hair, you're losing your hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Go see a doctor.
Exactly. Dermatology, something like that, right?
Yeah,
and then like
starts
every
sounding
single
like your
time,
mom.
sorry, facial error. Try
I know.
again. I'm
And
like,
then you start from the beginning.
From
like
the
when
beginning.
I was registering the fucking I Am Smart app.
Yeah.
And it took me like 2 days of
it's
like
stupid.
Yeah.
And then they don't let you start from the facial thing. From the ID card again, I'm like, come on, people.
Yeah.
Maybe your ID card angle was bad and your face is crooked. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
So finally, we're doing it back. We did like 7-8 times.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking maybe because this is Bank of China, their app doesn't really recognize our faces. They're kind of like, ugh, this is not human.
Right.
I was like, don't say it. Do not say it, Viv.
Yeah.
This is gonna get you in trouble. And finally, the agent.
But only say it on a podcast to thousands of people.
Why
That's
not, right?
fine.
Yeah, exactly. This is purely hypothetical. Just wondering at the moment,
Yeah.
right? Why is it not recognized?
Just saying.
My eyes, nose, and mouth and ears. What's
Yeah.
wrong with them, right?
Yeah.
Right. So then finally, even the agents like giving up, and they call like their own service center and be like, "Yeah, this client's having problem with facial recognition.
Mm.
Is there any way we can override that?" And they're like, yeah, sure. And like they
Should've
can
just
just
done
press a button
Yeah.
and the system acknowledges that, yeah, my face is for real.
Yeah.
And like I do the app again, like just skip that whole procedure. I'm like, why
fuck?
didn't
Yeah.
we do that from step one?
Yeah.
You know? And then
I
like
guess they're trying to minimize people showing up at the bank.
Yeah, yeah.
So they can fire everybody.
maybe one of those. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, right? Okay, so we do that. It's all registered. Accounts all sorted out. And then that's where the banks get you. They're like, all right, we got you now, man. They're like, oh, by the way, because you're mortgaging with us, technically the property could one day belongs to them.
Yeah.
And we must have insurance on our properties. So you must buy home insurance.
What?
Yeah. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And you have to buy this particular package with fire, insurance.
So when they say you have to, what if you're like, no,
No,
I
you
want to buy my own house?
That's part of their mortgage deal. They're like, there's no
so it's
mortgage.
part of the mortgage deal.
Yeah.
It's not like after
No,
when you go like,
they pretty much like told you, like they
Sure.
didn't tell you ahead clearly, but you're like, crap, fine,
Yeah.
right? And then you have to buy their insurance plan
Sure.
provided by Bank of China
oh
Insurance.
shit, it's like their own company.
Yeah,
God
they
damn.
sold. So their insurance department's like,
Of
we're
course.
gonna sell you this service. Like, god damn, dude.
Yeah.
And as long as your
It's like you
mortgage,
just fell into a web of just like
full on, dude. So as long as you're mortgaging with them, they've got to keep renewing the insurance with them.
right.
I'm like,
so they're
you-
paying themselves
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. I'm like, you bastard.
yeah.
That
Here's
is
some money
genius.
from this guy's
Yeah.
mortgage. Yeah.
My left pocket to my right pocket.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, you guys,
God
this is
damn.
pretty smart.
And
but
that's
alright.
like an annual.
I believe so, annual.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they tell you, but.
Yeah.
We're going to give you 6 months free insurance for this other stuff, for like, let's say, other protection in the house.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's great. They're like, but however, it doesn't cover if you're doing any renovations. You must get this new insurance after you renovate. I'm like, what? Yeah, right? I'm like, wait, well, they're like, yes. So if you get this particular free insurance we're giving you,
Yeah.
and we find out you're renovating, it's void.
Right.
Okay, fine.
So you have to buy this.
So after you renovate, when it's officially done, then you go to the insurance thing and you have to declare, I'm not renovating everything. I'm like, okay, fine. And then I will give it to you for free for 6 months. However, if you forget to cancel after 6 months, we
gonna
charge you every
charge-
month. I'm like, God damn, you
Yeah.
guys.
So
Like,
what is the other one that you have to get when you renovate?
I believe it's like something to do with, I don't know, some wind damage or something like that. It's like basically they've covered like the fire damage.
Sure.
And they're giving you free the damage that never happens.
Yeah, of course.
Like, oh, in case the wind breaks down your walls. I'm like, it does, what, really?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, it's just always safe to be, covered.
In
I'm
case
like,
your
"Alright."
wife doesn't like the colors of the ceiling.
Yeah, exactly. Or let's say the curtains don't match the carpet.
Yeah.
Something like that. You're like, what? This is okay. So I'm like, whatever. I'll deal with that later. Okay, so then we're all done. Sign, happy, joy, leave, and everything's done.
Yeah.
Then you have the mortgage set. You're ready to go. The mortgage things talk to your lawyers. Your lawyers get another 5% check from you.
Yeah.
Now they've got the 10% ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they give it for the actual agreement. And you talk to the agent and you agree. You give them all the money. 10% now is covered. You've paid 10% cash.
Yeah.
Your mortgage is ready.
So 10% came from the mortgage.
No, 10% came from my
you
actual
gave-
cash.
yeah,
You must
yeah,
have
okay.
10%
Sure.
for your down payment,
Yeah.
right? And the rest could be remortgaged if you get.
But obviously, the 10% you can borrow from your friends or
exactly,
your
which I had to do
dad
a
or
lot
whatever.
anyway. Yeah. Anybody you can find, like, hey, come on,
please.
yeah, just help me out for a bit, right?
Yeah.
So you get that side. Now, it's highly unlikely you get a 90% mortgage, which is crazy, unless you get like a really regular job. Now, remember, everybody.
What kind of guarantees? I was gonna ask you, like, what does the bank actually?
So
the bank don't just throw mortgages.
Yeah,
at
exactly.
people,
Yeah.
right?
So number one, it's standard. You have a job with a regular salary. They look at your salary,
you don't have.
which I don't have.
Yeah.
So what they do is they use their tax returns. So they see how
your
much
personal,
yeah, because I'm a self-employed
And you're-
person.
Yeah.
So they see your tax returns basically declare to the government how much money you're making.
Yeah.
And they consider that your income
Sure.
and using that as your ability to pay them back. Right? And I'm like, God damn, man, I got to show you all my private life.
Right,
And I'm
right.
like going up to be like, hey, so could you not laugh when you see this, please? You know, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So they were like, okay, look through all that stuff. And generally,
But they're not like when they're looking at the tax returns. The tax return does not have your
the details. No,
details, like
it has
credit card
it has a net,
statements.
no,
right?
it has a net profit basically.
Sure,
Right?
yeah,
So if
yeah.
you're making this kind of money, they're like, you know what? I think you're fine.
Yeah.
And then they ask for your bank statements for the last few months just to see like how's your money status. Are you
Sure.
like always tight, or do you have like spare cash? And I'm like, okay, fine, all that stuff done. So that's why they approved it. I'm like, all right, done and done. We're good.
Okay.
So that's done. Your lawyer gets the stuff ready. They go back and forth, sign a few more papers, and finally they give you like a particular completion date. That's the day when you get the keys to the apartment, which is ironic because I'm like, it's highly unlikely you're not going to change the lock.
Yeah.
So what was the fucking point of giving me the keys? I'm going to break this lock anyway,
Yeah.
right? And secondly, technically, like, you know, the agent's holding the keys. I'm like, buddy, like, what
I
do
can
you?
just- you
I
can
could
just
yeah.
ask that, yeah.
Yeah, I could just get what this is.
Also, in your case, you live in the same building.
Yeah.
You can just go
I could
upstairs.
just like smash the door down, be
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm there, right?
It's yours.
Yeah, it's mine. Yeah.
But wait, you skipped over the government taxes part.
yeah, so government, there's stamp duty, and if you're a first-time home buyer,
Yeah.
it's a lower percentage. I forget now how much it is, but like probably 3% versus like.
But
let's
then
say-
you can change that easily by having one under your mom's name and one
Correct,
under your girlfriend's
which is exactly
name.
what we did. Is like this new apartment is my mom's name.
Yeah.
This current apartment is my name.
Yeah.
Which is
That's not
very
illegal.
It's not illegal.
It's
It's very
standard.
fair.
Yeah.
And look, it was always one of my things. I wanted to make sure my mom has an apartment under her
Sure.
name that he belongs to her, regardless of who lives where. It doesn't matter.
Sure.
But I was like, whatever happens. This is yours,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. We're covered. That was my goal from like a long time ago. I'm like, my sister, my mom, and me, we have to have an apartment or some sort of property that's our name where whatever happens.
Sure.
Let's say we just lose at a game of poker and we never want to see each other.
Sure,
You
sure.
go back home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
But
or-
still in the same building.
yeah, or she's one day comes up home with like a bag of Vizio and I'm like, get the fuck out. You're going to that
That's it,
apartment
you're
right now.
banished to
You're
the
out.
other
Yeah,
floor.
you're out. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
done, right? All right. So the stamp duties, everything are all
But
included.
what is the difference? Because obviously you're a Hong Kong citizen.
Yes.
What is the difference? If you're a foreigner,
Yeah.
that's quite different.
It's much higher. I believe it's like, let's say,
They call it the Guaylo tax.
but I know. I think it's like if you have a ID card, it's like a bit cheaper versus like just someone who just came here with money, but like I throw down kind of
Sure.
thing. So stamp duty rates, if I see over here, I believe. Depending on the property price, okay?
Right.
So for a certain price, it's let's say 3%. For a higher, if the property is much higher, it'll be like 6% or 7%, some of that. But if you're a double duty, like as in you already own a property, it just like gets crazy. Like for example, it just doubles the stamp duty.
Really?
Yeah. So
Damn.
just imagine, let's say $100,000, and now because you own two properties, there's like 200,000.
Yeah.
So there's many ways to get
So
around
this
this.
is basically just one cut to the government, and it's just
Yeah.
like on the signing, like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
bought
yeah.
a-
Yeah.
and then you bought an apartment, the
Yeah.
government takes a cut, and
Yeah.
that's the only tax you pay.
That's the only, no, but then you pay government rates and stuff on
What
it.
is government
I think
rates?
that's like basically you pay a small amount to say on this particular property. The government owns like pretty much all property, all land in Hong Kong, and you pay them like a quote unquote rate or rent or whatever
Right,
to
right.
have this building on this property.
Yeah.
So if you have more flats in the building, then you just all divide it. So that's what I mean. Right? It's one of
Yeah.
those things, and you're like, I fine, you got to pay whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's just non-stop bills. Like you know the whole thing. Oh, if I have my own place, I don't have to pay rent. Like, buddy, the
Yeah,
bills
yeah.
never stop. Okay,
Yeah.
management, this, that. I'm like, God damn, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. All right, so all that happens. Stamp duty, everything's paid for. You get your lawyers. The completion date happens. That's the day when the agent comes with you. Oh, here's your keys. Congratulations.
Yeah,
blah,
yeah.
right? So for me, oddly enough, that particular day, I am working all day
Yeah.
on the completion date.
So there is no one to take the keys.
No, my mom and my girlfriend get to enjoy this.
All
So
right.
let me,
Oh, shit, you got the moment of, like-
yeah, they got the
yeah.
moment of joy, right? So let me explain this to everybody, right? The man who has done all the work, all right? The person, let's not use the man, the person who did
Yeah.
all the work, got all the monies, this and that, everything sorted out, doesn't get to get the keys.
Yeah.
It's the other people in his circle that are like, oh,
Yes.
we're gonna have dinner, and they're taking some.
Regardless of their gender.
Yeah, regardless of gender, yeah. They're enjoying this.
Yeah.
And that day, I remember precisely, I had a full day event.
Yeah.
And I remember it was like the 11th
You're
or something.
getting the videos of them like going in.
I'm
and, like,
getting like WhatsApp message, ding, ding. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, I bet you it's photos of them in the apartment.
Yeah.
Oh, we're in. Yeah, we did it. All that stuff. And I remember precisely because like it was like I think like a
And
Friday.
then the next message is like, here's a bill for you to pay. when you
Exactly.
come
Yeah,
back.
exactly. So let me tell you what I had that day, okay? So that day, that morning, oddly enough, I had, of all things, a doctor's appointment at
Right.
Queen Mary
Oh, right.
to refill my immune jars.
The injection
Yeah, the
thing.
injection thing, to
Yeah.
refill my
Yeah.
allotment, right?
Yeah.
So here I am in the hospital. These two are like, hey, well, bummer. And now I'm like going like, please let me live.
Yeah, yeah.
The doctor, can I please, I need something
Can
to
I-
live,
yeah,
right?
I need the living.
Yeah, I need the living juice, right? I get that, and then I quickly drop that stuff off because it's like medicine and stuff. I drop it off at home, and like bam,
You don't have time to go
I don't have time.
upstairs.
Yeah, and I get ready, and I'm out. I have a gig that night, and like that whole night, I'm doing the gig, and oddly enough, at the Rosewood Hotel. Right? I'm
Yeah.
over there, and I'm like, this is great, but hello, like I'm working. I'm actually working that day. Going like, this is paying my mortgage, and here I am. I don't even get to enjoy the flat.
Yeah.
And then not just that, you wanted to see how ridiculous is it? Okay, so that was a Friday, and then Saturday was the BAM Festival. I remember now. Yeah. So Mercedes-Benz BAM Festival at the Harborfront. I'm there
Yeah.
all day. All right.
Yeah.
For Saturday and Sunday, I've not been to the apartment just yet. So 3 days, I'm like working.
In the same, you have an apartment in the same building, and you
Same
not
building.
get to even.
I haven't got to it. Like,
Yeah.
because remember, BAM ends like at night.
Yeah.
And I'm
Then
like,
you're dead,
I'm
of
so
course.
dead. I'm like, I don't. There's nothing for me. I don't care right now. I just want to go finish my stuff and prepare. Because the next day is BAM again. I got to be there at like 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
Right. So all that stuff is happening. Finally on Monday, I'm like, okay, buddy, I need to.
Do I have an apartment?
Yeah, do I have an apartment? Like, I've been just working. Like, I'm sorry, what's going on? Right? And then finally Monday happens, and then I remember precisely because like I go up there, I was like, okay, all right,
right.
yeah, we're here. Okay, this is
Because
great.
it still like needs work.
Yeah, it
right?
needs work
It's not
and everything,
like
yeah.
you're going in and,
And
like
sleeping there?
someone
No.
made a dinner for
No,
you,
no,
and
no,
you're
no,
like, oh
no, yeah.
shit, this is a
Yeah,
new place.
nothing, right? Yeah, it's cleared off.
This
and now I'm
starts like a whole cycle of like. So now you have a
Renovations.
contractor.
Yes.
Like a guy, right?
Yeah, a
Who was
guy.
like he's in charge of renovation and stuff.
Yeah, but you have to tell them exactly what you want. I didn't hire an interior designer because
Right.
I'm like, no, I'm not doing
You
that.
will design it
I'm
yourself.
designing myself. I'm good.
Yeah.
Like where we are now, this is 100% me and my mom.
Really?
Everything.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's
Yeah.
comfortable, right? So all that stuff, I'm like, okay, now I got to think about how.
But then you have to have someone that you go like, if you want a counter there,
Yeah.
because you're not a designer, you can't like draw it properly.
Yeah. So
You just have to like tell him and
kind
then,
of, yeah. But I mean, the contractor I've used all these years for whatever spaces or in things I got to repair or build or whatever, it's
Yeah.
been awesome, right? He's one of these guys that. He's the type of guy that if you don't tell him what you want, he will give you the most standard of stuff.
Right.
Like literally the most not template, but standard as in like, oh, okay, that floor, that wall, of course.
Yeah.
Cream walls, brown floors, the normal brown door. I'm like, oh my
Sure.
God, this is standard as hell, right?
Yeah.
So you tell him what you want and he can do it all.
Right.
But you got to be like, I need exactly this, exactly that. Like he very often might disagree with you, but you just power through this guy. You're like, buddy, listen to me, right? Doesn't
Mm. Yeah.
matter. Oh, he's like, oh, okay, sure. So one thing that he always tells me is that I am a big fan of plug sockets everywhere in my house. So if you look at my apartment, I've got sockets on every corner of the walls. Right?
Because clearly you never want to have kids.
I never want to have kids.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, if they're dumb enough to put their finger into it, I'm like, buddy, you are the weakest link,
Right,
right?
yeah.
And thirdly, I hate those extension bars.
Yeah.
I hate
Yeah,
those.
it's
right?
like usually the cord is too long and
Too
they're
long,
just like
it's just lying over the
trip
place.
you.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
no.
thick.
Yeah. So now begins the painful journey of the designing of the flat and everything. It is fun for the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, because you're like creating something.
Yeah, you're like, what's this? And you're searching online. You're like, this is awesome. Well, I
Yeah.
want to have something like this. And then you look at all the inspiration. This happens to everyone, I'm sure. You have all these dreams. Oh, I'm going to, for Halloween, I'm going to dress up like this. I'm going to get that. I'm going to put that. And then you look at your floor plan. You're like, oh, shit. None of this will fit here.
Right.
I thought I'll do this. Not happening. Much like saying, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to shop till I drop today.
Yeah.
You go into the shop, you're like, shit, how much? Like, what? For a pair of pants? Really?
Yeah.
Right? I remember one time like I needed to change my wardrobe because I needed some clothes and my jacket was getting faded and everything. I was like, it's time to H&M this stuff, man.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go like Giordano's. I'm H&Ming this right. I go in there. I'm like, all right, let's do this. This jacket's pretty nice. Let's look at the tag. I'm sorry, what? 800?
Yeah.
Are you serious? What?
H&M, yeah, made by actual child labor.
Yeah,
slaves.
exactly. H&M is probably like Hugo and Manuel or something, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, come on, man. I cannot do this. And I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Same deal, dude.
So do you run into like your contractor going like, this is out of your budget? Like when you're like, did
So-
you have like any wild dreams? And he's like, nah.
Oh no, I full on. I always start with wildest of wild dreams. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this. I'm gonna have a travelator in my house. All that shit. I'm gonna put a lift. All that stupid
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
right? And then I'm like, all right, da 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 da.
And he's like, you can have an extra extractor.
Yeah, exactly.
fan.
Yeah, exactly.
How about that for
yeah,
your
yeah,
budget?
exactly. You can have one ceiling fan for 2 rooms. I'm
Exactly.
like, wait, what? Yeah. So what normally happens is I'll like think of all these big ideas. I'm like, he's like, okay, this is feasible. That's not. No, I don't recommend that. I'm like, okay.
What
fair
is a
enough.
big idea that you have for the new place?
So for example, like we have 2 bedrooms in this apartment, right?
Yeah.
So one's gonna be my office, and the idea was that I'm always stuck in my office room, kind of working, and so instead of me being in this tiny room where it's like 50 square meters, but my apartment's 500, I'm gonna put a window for a wall, so that way at least I can look out of the room,
Right.
and enjoy a bit more space that I paid for. So that's one idea.
Yeah.
But I was like, but what if I need the privacy? So how can I have the blinds and the windows? But I want to pull open. You know, when you go to these cafes, you can open up the whole
Yes.
window thing. I was
Yeah.
like, I need one of those, right? So this whole crazy thing of like, I'm gonna have these sliding windows.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an open space, all that shit, right? And he's like, okay, we could do that, right? We could do that. But what about this? Like, you know, are you gonna have the sliding windows, or are you gonna have to flip them open?
Yeah.
But no, man, make it like a cafe, right? Flip it from bottom to the top. You know,
Yeah.
it's like I'm in a beach house, right? He's like, let me explain to you how stupid that idea is. I was like, okay. He's like, first of all, you don't have a high ceiling.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna have a window that flips towards the ceiling,
Yeah.
making your ceiling lower.
Yes.
And don't forget, when you have that window flipped up, when you walk into the other room, now you have the stupid window flipped up. Now, God forbid, you're trying to pull the window down.
Yeah.
You're gonna now jump up to the ceiling and pull it down. I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty stupid, right? He's like,
Yeah,
okay.
that means also you might have like a low stool to stand on, but
Yeah.
now you're standing on a low stool in front of an open window.
Exactly.
Which
I
again
can
is
fall over on,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, all right, fine. He's like, you can do a sliding window. I'm like, okay. I was like, buddy, I want one of those, one of those glasses where you press a button and it gets frosted, and
Yeah.
press a button, it's clear.
Yeah.
He's like, that's so stupid.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, why is this so stupid? He's like, first of all, that's electric.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
And if it goes bad, you got to change the whole window.
Yeah, and then if it gets rained on and it's wet,
Yeah.
now it's wet and electric.
But no, I'm talking about the inside. This is the inside wall of my.
No, I get that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's
But
still
guess what?
like-
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, it's electric, all that stuff. And he's like, what are you trying to hide from?
Yeah.
Like what privacy?
Also, you're like, you're pretty high up floor.
Yeah, number one, and also like this is only just blocking the view from my bedroom.
Yes.
Nobody outside is seeing through this window. It's just
Yeah.
that like, but I want to be in my own space. But sometimes when I'm alone, I want to have that openness, right?
Yeah.
It's just stupid ideas. And I'm like, okay. Then how about we have these side flipping windows, right? Just like you have the open window now and standard stuff, but with a zigzag flip. You get my point? Like one of those balconies, and
Yeah.
they're like. He's like, okay, let's understand that again.
We should have that guy in the podcast.
Yeah, right?
We just have him for a whole episode just knocking down every dumb idea you
Yeah,
have.
he's like the anti-real estate agent. Where it's
Exactly.
yes and he's like, no way. right. He's like, that's a stupid idea because now you got to think about this, what it gets jammed. And finally, I was like, okay, what about just a sliding window? He's like,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is crap.
He's
Yeah.
great because he already knows what the answer is, but he lets you come up
Oh
with
yeah.
the answer. Yeah.
He's like a parent right there. He's
Exactly.
like, oh, you find the solution. What is 1 + 1? I'm like, 5. He's like, is
Yeah.
it really 5? I'm like, it's like a whole journey.
Exactly.
Right? And that's just like one wall, not even the room yet, man.
Right.
Yeah. So all these kind of crazy
my
things,
God.
I had to put together. So it's been annoying, but hey, you know what? You got to do the hard work. This apartment was painful when we were designing it.
Yeah.
But like, the projector and all this stuff. I'm like, let's have a projector on the wall, 92-inch screen.
Yeah.
And it was awesome when it happened. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, man, I'm in my own house looking at a 92-inch screen. This is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all that stuff is gonna happen now, and that's a few more months to go.
Would you recommend someone who lives in Hong Kong who has a bit of cash? Is it a good investment to buy an apartment in Hong Kong?
Okay, if you ask me honestly, you have to ask yourself what is your end game. Now,
Investment.
investment, investment. I would say it's pretty good. It depends on the location as well. Like for me, I'm in mid-level side for a few reasons. Number one is like I'm confident being so close to CBD. You have the benefit of like I highly doubt this place will become vacant if I
Sure.
should rent it out, right?
Yeah.
Second of all, if it were to fall in property price, being so close to the CBD, I believe it's got a bit more of a threshold of a protection.
Yeah.
Thirdly, we're on a hill. We've got all the vibe and everything. You're close enough to the city where you got the CBD, but you're far enough where you have that little vibe. It's kind of like Sangpoon,
Sure.
but Sangpoon's just a bit off of CBD.
Yes.
Right? So you still have to travel, and it's not got that little walk convenience.
Yeah.
So I think I'm confident when you really think of it that way, where you're looking at the lifestyle. My think is if you buy it purely from an investment point of view, then sure, look at the money and everything, right? But if you're thinking of the type of people you want to have living here, then maybe think about the lifestyle of people you want to attract. Like I clearly know that this area is because I like the people around this area. So I'm like, if I were to rent it one day, I would be cool with like the self-employed person who's at home all day. I'm like, you're going to appreciate this place. You get it? Versus the guy who goes to the office every day. I'm like, yeah, you're not going to
appreciate
Yeah,
that.
exactly. You might as well live far off. Who cares, right?
Yeah.
So I would say it's worthy investment, not every location. I do not recommend those buildings where they have all the clubhouses and everything, because there's always some sort of corner cut. You get it? Like when it's like the mass house, when they have like 20 different towers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can tell like they're going to have all these rules. Like for example, with this building, it's like the old style where you have the incorporated owners, which what it means is that my door and door handle is up to me, whatever I want to do.
Right.
And these more like these tower 1, tower 2, 3.
They have to be in unison.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That particular door, that particular lock. They may give you now more options like the Samsung locks or whatever, but still that door, you're like, I don't want to have a brown door. Like, oh, you got to do it. You have to have green window grills.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. This particular shade of window glass. Oh my God. No, I hate that, right? So that's what you have to look into. I would say at the end of the day, if your end game really is purely investment, then honestly, you can look around everywhere. I wouldn't say Hong Kong's the ideal place now, especially with the property price and everything. But for that kind of big chunk of money, I'm pretty sure you can invest in a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
Rather than just like one property for that price.
Yeah. Okay. And what is it like? As you have not rented out any of your places yet?
No, I have not. No,
Yeah.
no, no,
Okay.
no.
So,
but I mean,
when you are a proper landlord, then we'll get you as a landlord.
Yeah.
Point
So
of
I
view.
really hope, like, from all the good karma I've done, that whoever I do rent it out to is just cool. Like, I'm not expecting like you to clean the floors every single day, but I'm like, buddy, just like, come on.
Yeah.
You know?
But it would be cool because you're obviously like a public figure. So someday,
having me as your landlord,
Yeah.
they'll be like, is this price funny? And then I'm like, no, I'm very dead serious, dude. Do you see a mic in my hand? No.
Right. Every month you ask for rent, they're like, that's hilarious.
Yeah, they're like,
"No,
yeah.
I
And they
mean."
reply you with a rim shot. Ba-da-boom, ching. You're like, what? No, I want kaching. Ba-da-boom, ching, you know.
I do know because you said earlier that you like everyone in the neighborhood, which is not particularly true. Because
There's one place I don't like.
neighbor.
Yeah, one
There you
place,
go.
one establishment I'm having problems with.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of time. I think I will outlast them.
Well, the truth is they have one property and you have two.
That's right. Get the fuck out. Yeah. By majority wins.
Maybe actually someday you'll get so big that you can actually take over.
Wow,
And
that'll
then-
be the day when I buy that property, become the landlord, kick them out, and do nothing with it.
It's still gonna be better than having them there.
And then I tell Bakehouse, buddy, I'm gonna rent it to you cheap so you can put your flour here.
Yeah.
Not even your baking goods, just the flour.
Or they can have the exhaust, like they can have the little baking like factory because they
Yeah.
can have the exhaust outside.
Yeah.
Just
The
like
smell
butter.
of bread. Yeah.
Because you pass by butter just up the
You
street.
can see them cooking it, right?
And
Yeah.
it's like the exhaust fan is just like, it's evil.
Oh, yeah.
How good the smell
Yeah,
is. And
you're
they're
like-
working late at night.
Oh, they know.
know what they're
They
doing.
know, yeah, they know.
Yeah,
It
because
was
you
done.
can't buy late at night. So
Yeah.
they're buying, like they're cooking for the next day.
Yeah.
It's like, come on,
You guys, man.
Yeah.
This is not. And I just walked up a slope as well.
Yeah.
That hurts. Yeah,
Well,
full on.
not only that I don't know one, I don't think I can, off the top of my head, know anyone who owns one apartment in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
I definitely don't know anyone who owns 2 apartments. So congrats
Thank
for
you.
being the only person I know in Hong Kong
Well, I'll
who
put it
owns
this way,
2
man.
apartments.
Until I finish the mortgage, I technically don't own it.
Yeah,
So
well-
when that happens, then we'll figure it out. In 20 years, let's
You
talk
have the
again.
keys to 2 apartments.
Technically, yes.
Yeah,
Technically.
yeah.
So that's pretty all right. I mean, look, I'll put it this way. It's like, it was not 100% like purely like, I feel like buying another place.
Well,
you
to
know?
be fair, Bank of China owns one of them.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that having 2 apartments wasn't one of those things like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get another flat. Fuck it,
Sure.
you know? But it was like due to circumstances. However, having the ability to do that,
Yes.
I am very grateful for that, for
Of
sure.
course.
Yeah, but I'll put it this way. People, I fucking hustle, okay? like if you have seen
Yeah, I
me
know.
work,
Yeah.
and like this year, oh man, I went into hustle mode, man.
I am aware. There's a
Oh.
lot that we can't share here, but I'm well aware of how much you're hustling.
Yeah. So no, definitely,
no,
I
it
would say
paid off.
Very, very
Congrats.
grateful. There's no ego over here. This is purely gratitude.
I would like to invite a few random listeners to your housewarming, but I know you will say no.
Yeah, it's not happening. There's no housewarming, buddy. Yeah. I'm like, we're good, dude.
However, there can be people who can come check out your place. The people on the Patreon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
if
they are
come
paying
and-
money.
Yes, they can come check it out.
There you
Basically,
go.
if you want to check it out, quickly become a subscriber.
Yes.
And then you know what? If you suddenly message us saying, purposely became a Patreon subscriber. I want to check out the apartment.
Yes.
I will be happy to welcome you
go.
into the house.
I think that's fair.
Absolutely, yeah.
So how do people find the Patreon?
So very simple. Just go patreon.com/hohopod.
There you go.
Subscribe for $5 a month at least.
Yep.
And then we'll figure something out. If you want to just come take a look at it, I'll let you peek into it. I'm still renovating, so it's quite silly coming out.
You can come and look at the view.
Sure, look at some
Or
bricks.
you can come jump on your bed when actually
it's actually ready.
when
Yeah,
it's actually
exactly.
ready.
Yeah. So we'll sort that all
Yeah.
out and everything. I'll take you to a tour. It will last for 10 seconds. This done. Bye.
Yeah.
It's like the this rice thing.
Yeah.
Like this and this, we're done.
Yeah,
We're good.
yeah.
That's all
for
the
your
apartment is.
$5.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if
yeah.
they are the $20 tier, they can actually have a coffee with you.
Oh, yeah.
And bakehouse cookie.
I will give you a bakehouse cookie.
There you go.
Singular. Relax. I'm not
let's
that
not.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, $20 a month for the ultimate fan, and you get a T-shirt as well.
Yes, exactly. So you get to wear
Tycoon is
Yeah.
the name of the tier. But
Exactly.
yeah, join us on Patreon. We're about to record the bonus episode. Every week we have a bonus episode for our Patreon subscribers. Thank you so much, and Merry Christmas
Yeah.
coming.